Hey everybody, it's Callista. Um, Today's the 22nd of February, 2014. I had my surgery on February 19th, 2014 at Loyola University Medical Center that's in Maywood, Illinois. It's kind of like a little small suburb outside of the city of Chicago. My surgeon's name was Pan Chand, and he is an amazing surgeon. If if I hadn't had work done by him, I could say it and say he did amazing work on other people, but he actually did really good work on me. My surgery was at noon. I was in recovery. Surgery took about 2 hours. I was in recovery for 3 hours. They were expecting me to be in recovery for only like an hour and a half, 2 hours, but when I woke up, I was screaming at the top of my lungs, and they had to give me Dilaudid, which is like 6 or 7 times stronger than morphine, because I could feel everything. And their whole thing is they make sure that you're waking up before they knock you back down. They also couldn't send me to my room right away because I was desatting, which means that my oxygen levels were dropping really, really low, really fast. So they were getting me to they were trying to get me to take really deep breaths, but because my abdomen hurt so bad, it was really difficult for me to do that. The nurse that was there in recovery when I woke up was not super pleasant. I mean, I guess she was trying to be, but she kept telling me, okay, take really deep breaths, okay? And I was just like, I know how to breathe, leave me alone. And, instead of her saying, okay, well, just try, or, trying to be more encouraging, she's like, well, if you want to go to your room, you better start taking deep breaths. And I was just like, that was already unpleasant to wake up that way. Then the transporter who came to get me was like racing through the hallways with me. And I told her, I was like, slow the fuck down. Like, this is not a race. I'm going to vomit. And she was just like, oh, don't swear at me, blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, then slow down. Stop running with me through the hallways. She bumped my bed into, I don't know how many different things. It was like, it wasn't a good way to wake up. By about 6 o'clock, I was in my room. When I got in there, my mom was in there, and my mom's best friend was in there. She had come with, because I'm really close to her, and, she was also there for support for my mom, and they took me in my room, gave me my PCA, which is the patient-controlled narcotics, your little pain button. They told me I could hit it every 10 minutes if I wanted to. I wasn't allowed, even though I was sleeping, I wasn't allowed to have a CPAP on, or a BiPAP. I was allowed only oxygen. They did let me put ice chips in my mouth, so that because my mouth was really, really dry. What else? Oh, I didn't have any bruising. I actually took pictures of my incision sites about maybe 8 or 9 hours post-op, and they looked really good. They still look really good. Only one of my incision sites is starting to bruise, but it's so minimal. It's really little. And I will post a photo of exactly how everything looked. I had 5 incisions. The biggest one was probably the most painful. It was a tie, because 2 of them were pretty painful. The incision, the biggest one where they pulled my stomach out through, that one was pretty sore, but then there was also an incision right in my waist, where my smallest part of my waist would hit, and it was kind of closer to my rib cage, so that was painful. One thing that I did notice really really, really helped me was I asked them for ice packs, because I had gotten to the point while I was waking up where I didn't want to be touched, and I didn't, my mom came up and she was rubbing my hair, and it was just like I didn't want anybody to touch me or look at me or anything. And at one point, I didn't even want my robe on. I was just literally laying in bed naked with just the covers over me. And they had turned the heat way down in my room, because I was going through different spurts where I was getting really hot and starting to get kind of clammy, and then you know once they would turn the heat down, I would start getting really cold. But that was just the first night. It was probably attributed to everything going on. My surgeon did give me pictures that he took during the surgery of when he removed the part of my stomach that he did, and there's a picture inside where it shows it removed from the sleeve, so you can see where the sleeve is and the stomach right before they take it out. But other than that, everything has been pretty okay. I've been walking a lot. I know it's a no-no. While I was in the hospital, they brought one of my best friends was there with me, and they brought Pepsi and Diet Sierra Mist, and I had read on a vlog somewhere that one patient actually took a couple of sips of a diet soda, and it started causing her her gas to she started to belch a lot. So I took 3 tiny sips of Sierra Mist, which I probably wouldn't recommend, and my surgeon would probably be really pissed off about. But as soon as I did it, I just started belching and belching and belching, and then finally I felt like I had to go to the bathroom, and I just started farting, and it was the best feeling in the world. I also made it a point to try to walk a lot. The first night they tried to get me up to walk, I got to the door and I started vomiting. So they put me back in bed. And then the next day, which was Thursday, I did about 3 laps around the unit that I was on. And I would say the unit, just to get a half a lap done on the unit, is roughly the equivalent of walking a city block. So it was almost like I walked, we could call it, I don't know, a half mile the first day. But I mean, it wasn't all at once. I got up and I did a round, and then I got up a little later and I did another round. I did a lot of sleeping. So I'm due to go see my surgeon the 27th for my 1-week post-op. Things that I can say about the surgery was, it was, for me, I've never had super major surgery before, so for me it was the most excruciating pain I have ever woken up in. Right after surgery, that was the most pain I've ever been in. Once they controlled my pain and I was nice and high, I was on fentanyl, which is like morphine. I was also getting Toradol, which is another pain med, and then they were giving me, I don't even want to, it's like hydrocodone, but it's by mouth. They were giving me that by the end of my stay too, so I had plenty of pain management going on, and I don't think they were doing it to make me high, but I was very high. I remember my doctor's partner coming into the room, and she talked to me, and, she was just coming in to see how I was doing, and said that she just wanted to make sure I was okay. She was doing rounds for him that day, and that, as long as everything was okay, he would see me on the 27th, and then I passed back out, and I woke up talking to her because I hallucinated so hard that I thought she came back in my room and was talking to me. But she wasn't. I was just very high. So, I appreciated that. They kept me very high so that I was able to tolerate my pain level. I didn't feel any pain as far as, inside, like, it didn't feel like anything was going on with, like, my intestines or, my stomach. It didn't feel upset or queasy. It just, all the pain that I felt was almost like somebody had punched me in my stomach, and like my abdomen, like my muscles were bruised. That's what it felt like. When they took me for my upper GI series, which was the first thing they let me swallow, was a contrast and then a barium. The contrast, as soon as I drank it, I threw it right back up, which kind of scared me, but it tastes really disgusting and smelled really bad. So at first my thought was, oh my God, there's something wrong with my sleeve because I drank this stuff and I'm throwing it up before they can even get pictures of it. And they were like, it's okay, we're not going to do any more of the contrast, let's just do the barium. So I swallowed the barium. That did not bother me at all. It actually felt kind of good because it's real chalky. So they were able to get pictures of my sleeve, and they said everything looked great. They didn't see any leaks. So yeah, other than the fact that I was desatting, which they knew to expect because I was a cardiac patient, everything went really well. The reason I never mentioned my doctor or where I was having this done was A, for my own safety, and B, because I didn't know how my surgeon would feel about me discussing him on my YouTube channel. But my mom did tell him that I was doing a YouTube channel and that I'd like to mention him on it, and he was more than willing to let me mention him. If I had to do it all over again, I would, regardless of the pain that I woke up in. It's just nice to see that I can have a couple spoons full of something, and, I'm starting to learn where my full point is. I haven't had any dumping. I don't know if when I drank the contrast that would be considered dumping. I don't really know, because they were trying to have me drink it pretty fast. But as far as like anything that I've eaten, like my own food, I haven't dumped yet. So I'm really excited about that I haven't gotten to that point. I start to notice that like when my chest starts to feel a little bit tight, that I heard that that's like one of the first signs that you're full. So once I start feeling that, I just, I'll stop eating or whatever. I noticed that after about 4 tablespoon sizes of whatever I'm eating, I notice if I get to about 5, I start to feel a little bit, not uncomfortable, but, less empty. And then I usually, it's just, I stop because I don't want to chance it and have anything come back up on me. So yeah, I haven't learned my limits yet, I guess, because I hear the only way you learn your limits is once you throw everything up. But so far, so good. Like I said, I'd do it all over again with the exact same surgeon because he did not leave any bruising on my stomach. I have bruising on my lower abdomen, like way below my belly button, but that's from heparin shots that they had to give me because when you're in the hospital, you're not moving, they give you heparin, and usually the heparin shots cause bruising. So I've got bruising way under my belly button, but that is from the heparin shots. I think that's about it. Going in to surgery, my weight was 281 pounds. And when I have my 1 week post-op, I will weigh myself again. I'm going to try not to weigh more than once a week because I don't want to become obsessive. But they didn't weigh me before I left the hospital. They said they're going to leave that to the surgeon's office so that I'm able to see, okay, this is where I came in at, this is where I'm at 1 week post-op. So, yeah, I think that's about it. If they give you anti-nausea medication, take it. If they give you pain meds, take them. It helps a lot. And the one thing that I noticed with me helped the most were cold packs. Cold packs. I just kept them on my stomach, and that really helped with not only the swelling, but the discomfort. And that was like my lifesaver. So if anybody needs any advice on what to do to cause the pain to be less, ice packs.